Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Shaun Attwood channel with myself, Ron Swanson, and the ever fabulous Mr. Jon Wedger, whistleblower, ex-UK policeman, bit of an underpants swimming legend, but he's here tonight to talk about Michael Barrymore, which we'll get into just a minute. I just want to say, our little podcast from my mum's house last week, John, right, is sitting on about 65,000 views.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
And we have got Julia this Sunday. Julia is, of course,
yes, she was happy.
Yeah, she's cool.
The Polish, yeah, that's right. The Polish Madeleine McCann. She's been in contact with me for quite a while, and she said, "John, I don't want to be called a liar." I said, "But I'll have to call you a liar because I think Madeleine's dead." And so I said to her, officially, in my head, you're dead. But again, I'm not knocking her, or I'm there to put down. I said, if I can get your platform, let's do it. And she's been good. She's been okay.
Well, here's the thing. My mind is so diverse, right, that I won't allow myself to make up my mind on a decision, on a theory. All of the theories are right until we know what the facts are. You see what I'm saying? So
well, none of us were there, were they?
Well, this is the thing. And we can have firm beliefs in something, but firm beliefs in another, because I believe it's healthy to define the parameters of the situation we're describing. So, is Madeleine alive? Give me your conclusion, if that makes sense. And I've got so many theories. I mean, I definitely believe. I think after last week, if a gun was put to my head, I would go with the accidental death and hiding. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I did another Madeleine podcast for another guy who set up his own channel, and he did the same. He got incredible hits on it. He said the hits have gone crazy. I said, well, they will do because it's a good topic.
Well, that's the thing. And since then, we have been given the green light for a monthly McCann special every month, John. So, which is great. But what I think we should do is try and take it to the next level. And see if we can get anybody who's been around the case or involved in the case, police force, whatever. What are the chances of you finding out who the sniffer dog handler was? And
I've got a contact with the dog handling world, so I'll put my feelers out. There's a fellow that I've done some work with who's the #1 dog handler in the world, actually, and he'll know. So.
Well, tonight, if you're from the UK, this is not a new case, unless you've been living under a rock. If you are not from the UK, this is the Michael Barrymore case. Now, I remember Michael Barrymore as the Strike It Lucky guy. Is it the Strike It Lucky?
Yeah.
Top, middle, or bottom. Top, middle, or bottom. Really old school 80s and 90s game show host. He was top of his game at one point, though.
He was the most highly paid entertainer on British TV. He really, I think at the time when Strike It Lucky was its height, there was something like 68 million people in the United Kingdom, and 17 million would tune in. So almost a third of the population would watch this guy.
Just in case you are under the age of 20 and watching this, many years ago, there was this big event called Saturday Night Television, right? Where, believe it or not, you would gather around with your family and you would watch the garbage that was the TV back then. But it was epic. And this is Strike It Lucky. I mean, look at the era here. These are actual bulb televisions that are fitted into this stage. Okay.
Yeah, it must weigh a ton.
Do you know what I mean? How freaking? I wonder how many people died under those tellies since. Like before flat screens, John. Like I remember the one thing when I was a kid moving my room around as a teenager, I had the old living room telly, and my God, I swear, if someone had broken in and they fell on the floor and I kicked that on them, I win every time.
Well, go back to the early 90s. I was working as a beat bobby, as a uniform copper in South East London.
Okay.
And we was on this really notorious housing estate, high-rise blocks, and someone threw a telly out and it landed on our car and just wrote it off.
Oh my God. Do you know, I just want to say to anyone who now sees that in a movie and thinks that could never happen, John is the guy who that happened to.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he's the He's the someone's going to lose an eye version of the telly coming out the window. Okay. So listen, Jon, can you just give us a rundown? Just give us a 5 minutes of, if you were explaining who Michael Barrymore, I know we just started to do that, but explain Michael Barrymore as if, I'd never heard of him. Just take us on a little refresher.
Right. So number one TV presenter. He's a born entertainer, this guy. He was born Michael Parker. He's 1952, so the post-war era. I think it's him and two older siblings. I think his father might have been an Irish immigrant. I'm not too sure, but very, very working class. Probably from the roughest part of the United Kingdom, Bermondsey, real heart of the Cockney.
Yep.
Just south of Tower Bridge. A really, really rough estate, the Dickens estate, and he was born into poverty. Really, his father was a very, very violent man. It's something I will really come back to his childhood because it's so important. It's so important what we're doing. But he's a repressed homosexual. Back in the day when you couldn't be gay, it was dangerous, and none of that. It was illegal. And he's in the entertainment industry. He's obviously got this natural gift to entertain. It really doesn't go down too well with his family and his peers because it's a long part of the world. But he leaves school. He gets himself a job as a Butlins Redcoat, an entertainer in a holiday camp. He meets his future wife Cheryl, and we'll go on about their marriage a bit later on.
Sure.
She goes on to be his agent, very headstrong woman, pushes him to enter a talent show. What is it, Lucky Faces or something like that? Search for a Star. Anyway, he wins it. Within a few years, he's just astronomical. His rise to fame, and he's really down to earth and really cheeky Cockney guy. Very extrovert, very funny, good at impressions. He does that a bit of Basil Fawlty-esque type stuff. And he's unstoppable, this guy, absolutely unstoppable. He openly comes out as gay in 1992 after being caught in a gay nightclub. His marriage is over, and this cracks start to appear in this guy's private life. He then admits to being addicted to alcohol and drugs. So he's in and out of rehab. But again, the British public are behind him. They still see him as one of the good guys until the 31st of March 2001. And this is where it all changes.
Yeah.
So, and this is what happens. So he's out with his new gay lover, a bloke called Jonathan Kenny. Now, Jonathan Kenny, we're going to spend a bit of time on him. He's
is this gentleman?
That's Stuart Lubbock. This is Stuart Lubbock. But Barrymore's out with Jonathan Kenny. Jonathan Kenny is a drag artist, but a man with underlying violent tendencies. Quite a jealous guy, quite an angry guy, and has had run-ins with the police for acts of violence. A bit of a Jekyll and Hyde character. They go out, they end up partying. Barrymore lives in the sleepy little Essex village of Roydon. The nearest town to that is Harlow in Essex. So it's just normal. Essex, Harlow is one of the towns. There was three in the late 60s, early 70s. 3 towns were built in what they called overspills. So it was Harlow, Hatfield, and Hemel Hempstead.
Hang on one second, Jon. I just need to fix some of the audio settings. We've just got a slight over. Okay, Jon, if you can count to 10 for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay,
7,
can everyone in
8.
the side chat give me a one in the side chat if that's better, less crackling, and still a listenable volume? Jon, if you can count to 5 again for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right,
9,
we'll just wait on the lag of the live stream catching up with everybody, and we should get a response. 1. Nomad's usually good for a shout out. Okay, seems better. Okay, wicked. All right, apologies, Jon. Please carry on, and thank everyone for letting me know.
Yeah, so Harlow's an overspill town. It's populated mainly with East End characters, you know, that have moved out of the smoke and moved into this new town. And the new towns were quite prosperous places, but they're a mix of people from the inner city and the rural folk. So he's ended up at a nightclub called Millennium in Harlow. And whilst there, he bumps into a few locals, and he invites them to his party. One of them being this guy, Stuart Lubbock. Now, I need to declare an interest here because Stuart Lubbock dies this night, right? Now, and it's been his father, Terry Lubbock's lifelong campaign to get justice for his son because this is a suspicious death, right? And there's a lot of weirdness goes on. I knew Terry Lubbock. I did some work for Terry Lubbock. I've done some work for a major TV channel in investigating Barrymore. I know friends of the Lubbocks and everything. So I've got a good input into this. So there might be some stuff that comes out tonight, which is quite new. All right.
Awesome.
Well, it might be that because I get it straight from the source. It comes straight from the source when it comes to this. And I was at a meeting last night with Terry Lubbock's best friend, a guy that I can't
I'm
name.
I'm sorry to be a pain in your butt, right?
Shall I
are you
turn
looking
these
at, no, can you, what are you on? Are you on a computer or a laptop or your phone?
a phone?
Okay, so if when you're looking at the screen, can you see where it says settings?
That's not come up.
It's a little cog, right? It's a little cog that says
that's not on this screen.
okay, can you see three little dots at the side of your picture?
Yeah.
If you click on that, can you see something that says edit mic settings?
Edit audio avatar.
No, edit audio. Click on that. And then does it say manually adjust volume?
Hang on. Audio. Do you want me to connect external mic? I've got an external mic if that will work.
Have you got earbuds?
I'll just take these headphones off.
Yeah, take those headphones off and see if that's.
Let me take these off. Hang on.
Hey, bother everybody. Yeah, sorry, it's there was a slight amount of crackling coming through. Now you might need to go. You might need to leave and then rejoin John so that your mic.
No, it should be okay.
There we go.
That should be better. So I've ditched in the headphones. They're rubbish.
Well, no. It's. I think the microphone's built into the headphone, and I just need to teach you how to adjust your settings. That's all.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'll just carry on like this. So
yeah, wicked, mate.
So anyway, Michael Barrymore, Britain's #1 TV presenter, from a rough working class family. I really want to go on about that in a second. Anyway, the 31st of March 2001, he's in a nightclub with his new boyfriend, and he invites a few locals. So he invites 8 people back to his mansion, I suppose, his millionaire's pad for a party. This party turns out to be a drug-fueled party. Okay, so cocaine there, ecstasy there, alcohol. Barrymore in and out of rehab, heavy drinker, does the cocaine, loves a joint. He did a lot of amyl nitrates, poppers. You know, the anal muscle relaxant, and the drug of choice for some people in the community.
We do need to watch our terminology.
Yeah. Of course, I'm very mindful of that. So he's been taking them, and the party gets into full swing. So there's 8 people there, plus Barrymore, and there's I think there's 5 men and there's 3 women there, right? 2 of the women are very young. 2 of the women are alleged to be 17 years old. So they're legally be classed. I think back then they'd be classed as minors, as adults. Now they'd be classed as minors.
Okay.
But back then an adult was 16. Now it's 18. There were prior to them going to this party, Barrymore has a massive set to with his boyfriend, Jonathan Kenny, and they sort of have a lover's tiff and split up. And Barrymore leaves, takes these people back to his place, and leaves Kenny behind. And he takes with him Stuart Lubbock. Now, Stuart Lubbock, 32 years old, wholesale butcher, Essex boy from the area, Harlow, and he's a bit of a player. Stuart, he's
okay,
good-looking young boy, looks younger than what he is, and he likes the girls. He's not gay. This guy, he likes the women.
okay,
But the offer of going back to the most celebrated TV personality in the UK was too much for him to turn down. So he leaves his brother behind. His brother regrets not going with him now, and off they go to Barrymore's place. Right?
it's a tough sign of the times, if I'm being honest, because alarm bells would be ringing. But in saying that, I suppose he wouldn't really be hiding his or repressing his sexuality so much in this era. But you can see, I mean, in this day and age, if Michael Barrymore invites a young guy back from a club back to his house, I think everyone would know what was going on there, if you see what I mean. So it's surprising that Stuart had no inclination of what Barrymore's aim was.
There was a couple of women there, but
okay, all right.
So there was 3 women. And anyway, so not much is known about what goes on until 5:45 when the emergency services are called. Now, what has happened is in the evening, Jonathan Kenny decides to go back. He hears that Barrymore's left with a young boy, a young lad. Off he storms to have it out with Barrymore. And Kenny has got a history of violence behind him, right? So we can only assume that it's kicked off, right? Now, I'm going to give you what's known, then I'm going to give you a theory.
All right.
5:45, a guy called Justin Merritt. Justin Merritt is a local drug dealer, really. It's alleged that he's the one who supplies Barrymore with his cocaine and his cannabis and his ecstasy and
the white stuff, the green stuff, and the pills.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, his Charlie Puff pills.
Yeah, that's the one.
And he's been in and out of trouble. He's a bit scroty, is our Justin, and his sister's with him. I think Kelly, his sister's name. And he calls 999 because there's the allegation or the message to the paramedics is there's a man dead in the pool. There's a man dead in the pool. You got to come, man dead in the pool. Anyway, the paramedics come, police come, and Stuart Lubbock is pronounced dead, taken to hospital. 3 hours later, he's pronounced dead. Right.
Nuts.
And it initially goes off as that it's drowning. Now, this is where it all gets very, very bizarre, right? Okay. And we're going to bring in characters now. So, what happens is Barrymore, instead of remaining on scene, does a runner, collects a few bits and pieces together and does a runner. The next day, now this isn't known, he checks into a clinic called the Springfield Medical Center, right? Allegedly with problems involving his genitalia, his